Hello everyone and welcome back to Genie Crafts. Last week I had shown a method to create a Lightbox template with the help of freely available images online. This week we are going to see second method to create a Lightbox template by taking any image online and just creating layers out of it with the help of a light pad or with the help of a trace paper, whichever one you have with you. The first thing that you need is an image or a scenery or a picture for which you want to create the Lightbox, and here's the image that I have chosen from pixabay.com. As you can see, within the image itself you can see different layers that you can use to create the layers for your Lightbox template. Also, since the image was a little small, so I have created my own border with equal width on all four sides. It's important that you define borders for your Lightbox template. To trace out the different layers of the Lightbox, I'll be using this light pad that I have got from Amazon online. I will share the link in the description box so you can check it out later. This is a USB powered Lightbox and it comes with a clip to hold the papers on which you want to trace. So you just plug in the wire and you switch it on with the power button that you can see on the black strip, and your Lightbox starts functioning. The way to trace it is that you put the original image on the light pad, increase the intensity of the light pad, then you put the paper on which you want to trace on top of the original image, secure it with the help of the clip that comes with the light pad, and then you do the tracing with the help of a pencil. Also, to utilize the light pad to its fullest potential, it is important that you reduce any ambient light in your room. So it's important that you switch off the lights in your room before you start using the light pad. That way the bottom image is much brighter and you can see it much clearly when you are tracing out. Now I will secure the two pages with the help of the clip that comes with the light pad, and the first thing that I will do is to draw the borders on my top paper on exactly the same place where the border is on the original image. Next step is to trace out each layer, and the process will remain the same for each layer. How you divide the layers is entirely up to you. That will completely depend upon how many layers you want in your Lightbox. If you want less layers, then you can have only one layer for the mountain without any snow effect. If you want more layers, then you can divide your mountain into 2 to 3 layers to provide more pronounced snow effect. Similarly, the rock on which the reindeer is standing, you can divide it into two layers. If you look at the actual image, there are some dark areas on the rock and there are some light areas on the rock. So what we can do is that we can divide this layer into two parts. The areas which we want to appear as light, we will cut out on the top layer, and the areas which we want to appear as dark, we will not cut out on the top layer. So the less light will come for those areas. So the point that I'm trying to make is that it's completely up to you how you want to divide the layers and what depth you have in your light box or shadow box. If you have less depth, then you need to go with lesser number of layers. If you have more depth in your light box, then you can choose to have more number of layers, and also depends upon how much comfortable you are with the complexity of the layer. So it's all up to you how you divide your layers. Once you are done tracing out the layer, switch on the lights in your room and take a look at how the layer trace has come out. After you have traced out the layer, if you want to make any annotations or if you want to put down any instructions for future reference, then you can do so. You can shade out the areas for future reference so that you know which part to cut and which part not to cut. So that's all up to you. It's for your own reference, and if you are planning to give template to others, then it is going to help that other person also. For the next layer, put another plain paper on top of your image, secure it with the clip and start tracing out the layer. Every time you trace out a layer, just compare it, with the actual image and see if you are going in the right direction or not. Also, you can keep checking out the previous layers that you have created to see if you are getting the desired effect or not. While I put a comment at the start of the video on my screen also that if you don't have a light pad, there is no need to be demotivated. You can always use a trace paper. Light pads are just a little bit more better at this kind of thing, because you can trace out the details much more accurately with the help of a light pad. You can see the difference between the tone of the different colors. With trace paper it becomes a little hazy at times, and also if you trace out something, then when you trace it back onto another paper, it's going to get reversed in the direction. With the help of light pad I can just keep it in the same direction that I want. But trace paper will also work the same way. It's just that you'll have to repeat the same process twice. Once transfer the image from the actual image to your trace paper, and then from trace paper to the paper on which you are creating the template. In the initial steps, when you are tracing out the image, do not worry about or think about how much light is going to come to the front, which areas are going to shine up brighter than the other areas. We'll worry about that later. First, trace out all the layers, and once you will have the layers ready, I will show you how to go about this process as to how to create holes on different layers or create space on different layers, which will allow light to flow through the front layers better, as opposed to if you don't create those spaces. Also, this light pad that I'm using has high luminous intensity, which means that after using it for some time it gets heated up, so it's okay if you need to take some breaks. In fact, I also took some breaks when I was creating this video, because after some time the light pad started heating up, and I just allowed it some time for it to cool it down before I started using it again. And now here are the different layers traced out as it is from the original image. For now I have not created space for the light to flow from back of the shadow box to the front of the shadow box. Now as I show you different layers, you can see that in the first few layers there is not much area of paper that is not going to be cut. But as I approach 5th or 6th layer, then you can see that for every layer after that, this bottom area is going to be just like that, solid. There is no space for the light to flow through. So what I'm going to do is that I will measure it with respect to the previous layers and then create a space at the bottom for the light to flow through. In fact, let me just use the light pad to create that space at the bottom, because that way it is much more efficient. So what I will do is that I will take the layer after which the entire bottom area is starting to be solid, and the layer just before that, and I can see that is the layer. I'll just create some space just below the borderline of that layer, and this will allow light to flow through to the front. Now I'm going to create this space in the every next layer, and as I move down the layers I will slightly keep on increasing this space so that rest of the light box also lights up evenly with the light and not just the back of the light box. And here are the layers from bottommost to the topmost, and voila, we have created our light box template. So this is a way in which, with the help of a trace paper or with the help of a light pad or any other copy means, you can create the template just by taking any image that you like from the internet and dividing it into different layers. Dividing the image into layers obviously will take some imagination on your part, and also thinking about how to create spaces for the light to flow through from the back of the shadow box to the front of the shadow box takes a little bit of practice. It took me quite a lot of attempts to get this right, or at least not perfect but somewhat right now, and I'm still perfecting my technique. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, then please do not forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Also do subscribe to my channel for regular videos on paper arts, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Till then, stay safe, take care, and bye bye.